Votes are accountable to you, the people.
Let us stand together. Let us reject vote buying and selling. Let us prove that our future cannot be bought. Your vote is your power, your right, and your responsibility. Use it wisely. This message is brought to you by Mainland 98.3 FM.
When they win your vote, just to win your vote, just to win your vote. Politicians will tell you what you want to hear. Just to win.
Very good evening to you. Welcome to the Situation Room live on Mainland 98.3 FM. Today is Thursday, so this is the last English version of the show for the week. Tomorrow is going to be Yoruba, which is Orelu, from 4 to 5:30 p.m. If you're joining us for the very first time, I welcome you to this show. This is the space where we talk about everything that has to do with policies, politics, governance, accountability, leadership, and everything you can imagine across the world. Yes, it's important for us to get involved with the global politics because you may think what is going on between Iran, US, and Israel does not affect you. Or you think the fact that USA does not have base or reasons why Iran should look at Nigeria, for instance, as against what the country is doing in Bahrain, in United Arab Emirates, in Saudi Arabia, and other countries within the Gulf region. Well, I'm sure you've been observing that some fuel stations are already closing around your neighborhood, and then petrol has gone from 823 naira to 973 naira, 950 naira in some places. And there are fears that it could go as high as 1,000 before the weekend. Well, I'm sure you have an idea of why that is happening. Of course, the NISO also released this afternoon that the reason why we had a reduction in the megawatts to 2,830 or thereabouts was because we have shortage of gas supply. So if the missiles are not flying, the consequences of what is going on within the Middle East and then the Gulf region is certainly affecting us as a country. And like I said on Tuesday, I hope this administration is also putting measures in place, for whatever happens. Nigerians are going through enough already. The government would have to, observe and watch some of the things going on so that Nigerians don't get caught up in all of this. And being caught up in all of this does not exactly mean that there will be missiles flying or anything. It's basically saying that economic consequences of that. For context, a lot of people often also forget that as a big player within the OPEC fraternity, Nigeria plays a key role in how the the benchmark for the sales of crude globally is being measured, exactly, because we have people buying our crude, and we also have people that were buying refined products from. So I just hope that just like we had during the SS crude account under the administration of former President Olusegun Obasanjo, billions of dollars were saved into the account, and then there were words that some governors wanted them to spend the money, and then the then Minister of the Economy said, no, don't spend the money, save for the rainy day, this and that. I'm sure the government knows that the rainy days could come, especially with these issues going on right now. That means there could be an increase in the demand of for Nigeria's crude, and of course that means that more money would come to us. So when those monies come, I hope that are making provisions for how we're going to handle them this time around. Well, the wave of the campaign has still not ended with the People's Democratic Party as one of the very strong members of the party. The former governor of Bayelsa State, Senator Iᴏ Dixon, earlier today announced officially that he's leaving the PDP to join the newly formed Nigeria Democratic Congress, the NDC. Remember, about 2 weeks ago, INEC released the two political parties that have been officially fully cleared to be added to the 18 that we have. So one of them is the Nigeria Democratic Congress, NDC. So the senator representing Bayelsa West Senatorial District since 2022 in the 9th Assembly, and also from 2023 in the 10th Assembly, the former governor of Bayelsa State from I think 2012 to 2020, yes, 14th of February 2012 to 14th of February 2020. Before then, he was a member of the House of Representatives from 2007 to 2012. Then he became the governor of Bayelsa State from 2012 to 2020. And from 2020, he's been in the, it was part of the 9th Assembly, and now he's part of the 10th Assembly. So he's been within the corridors of power on the platform of PDP since 2007. That's like 19 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. He's been within the corridors of power. Now he's abandoned the PDP and he has gone to join the new political party, the Nigeria Democratic Congress. Okay. You're welcome to the show today. It's Thursday. Mr. Tᴜɪᴜᴜ joins me on the show today, the immediate past chief political editor of Guardian newspaper. He's always our guest every Thursday. And of course, he's the publisher of sentinelnews.ng. Yes, check that out. Pretty informative, educative, and everything you need to, get in terms of breaking news, authentic news. You would find it on sentinelnews.ng. Yes, the chief editor joins me on the show every Thursday. Of course, he was for many years until his retirement a member or staff of Guardian newspaper, and then he rose to the ranks of the chief political editor until he retired just a couple of months back. So it's always a pleasure to have him join us on the show today. Well, we have major issues to look at on the show today. Off-cycle elections are coming in Osun and Ekiti, and then campaigns are, at the full-fledged. The governor of Ekiti State is not leaving any stone untouched. It was in Ikere yesterday alongside the former governor of the state, a PDP member, His Excellency Peter Odelifayoshe, and of course a couple of other, APC bigwigs in the state. And earlier today, the APC released the Ekiti State gubernatorial election committee, of course, headed by the leader of the Nigerian Senate, Senator Okoyemi Bamidele. And one of the candidates that was screened out by the Ekiti State Screening Committee for the gubernatorial election, Engineer Ojo, yes, he left the APC for a couple of weeks, and then he's back to the party and is part of the election committee as well. Then there's also the Osun conversation. The APC candidate also earlier, I think yesterday or so, announced the name of the running mates to the governorship candidate in the state. Don't forget that the governor of the state is also attempting to return for a second term. The governor won the election on the platform of the PDP, and of course, he's decamped from the PDP last year, 2025, and is going to join the Accord Party. I'm talking about Governor Adeleke. So he's also running for a second term. And of course, PDP is still very much on the ballots, even though the primaries that produced that candidate is still being contested in courts. But there's also the Ekiti conversation. The faction that conducted the primaries for Ekiti State and presented the certificate to the governorship candidate on the platform of the PDP in Ekiti State, that particular faction had also not been recognized by INEC. So whatever happens, we're just going to be looking at how the coalition and other opposition party can use the off-cycle elections in these two states as a means to test the waters ahead of the 2027 election, so that you have an idea of how accepted you truly are. After the after the 2023 election, there were off-cycle elections in Imo, Kogi, and Bayelsa. That was on the 11th of November 2023. We had the general election in February and March. And by 11th of November the same year, we had 3 off-cycle elections in Imo, Kogi, and Bayelsa. And that was in 2023. We also had off-cycle elections in Ondo and Edo, yes, in 2024. And then there was another off-cycle election in Anambra State in 2025. Then in 2026, there will be 2 off-cycle elections, apart from the other by-elections that will still come up at the senatorial seats that are vacant and all of that, But majorly, the governorship elections will have a Ekiti in 2026. And then by January 2027, we'll get into the general elections proper. So, now the coalition has opened its register and then saying that people should come in and register, register virtually. Then you go to your ward and confirm your membership and all of that. These off-cycle elections, are there chances for the opposition parties at the coalition to use that to test their level of acceptance? Is this an opportunity? And also, is this an opportunity for INEC, to try out some of the things that they are working on ahead of the 2027 election? We'll look at that on the show today. Then we'll also look at, well, I'm sure a lot of people would find this pretty controversial though, but we'll also look at it somehow, because all through the week, we've had conversation around the level of preparedness for the opposition party in terms of, how the opposition party focused on the mode of transmission in the Electoral Act 2026 and ignored the other part, the part where is being included that you don't exactly have to, challenge the outcome of a result on certificate grounds. There's also the mode of primaries, indirect and direct or consensus. Now it is direct or consensus. There's nothing like delegates anymore. So there are no selected, few people, privileged people that would think that, we are delegates, we are former governors, we are former senators. They can smuggle us into the list and then we can get the job done. I think that opportunity ceases to exist with the 2026 Electoral Act. So I will look at that also on the show today. Then I would also look at issues around the e-registration of political party membership and how has it turned out to be a competition and the manipulative process to increase the figures. Okay, officially, the Inspector General of Police, remember I was in acting capacity, has been confirmed. So he's no longer acting IG now. He's now the Inspector General of Police, that's IG Tunji Disu. And a lot of people are asking questions. Is he right? What are the expectations ahead, especially looking at where we're coming from with the immediate past IG Egbetokun? We'll look at all of that on the show today. So it's a full house. Well, impeachment and notice have been served to the Deputy Governor of Kano State. Remember, the Deputy Governor had refused to decamp to the APC with Governor Abba Yusuf that decamped a few weeks ago. The Deputy Governor had remained in the NNPP and is supporting the Kwakwasiya movement. But earlier today, over 30 members of the Kano State House of Assembly raised an impeachment motion against the Deputy Governor of Kano State. All of this and more we'll discuss on the show today. So it's a bumper package, and it's always that way every Thursday. We'll take a quick break. I bring on Mr. Miwa to help us understand some of these issues. Then we'll open the phone lines for you to join. Stick around. We'll be right back.
What leadership? I have shown leadership. I have said, look, you cannot do this. If you do this, you pay for it.
Does it get better or worse? Are the actors ready or not? Are citizens onlookers or bastions of accountability? The questions pile up each day, 1,001. But hey, in the Situation Room, we are not carried away. We only ask the crucial questions and stick it in, because the journey to El Dorado won't pardon missteps.
Based on the law, if you earn any income, you have to pay tax on it.
Join 괏ᴏʟᴏᴡ in the Situation Room Mondays to Thursdays from 4 to 5:30 p.m. for the real action.
In the Kano State, they cried it. What happened? Even in Edo State, they cried it. Not what happened. What I would say is, Mr. President is full of strategy.
You want to rubbish one of the governors? He does not believe that he must lose any battle. And you choose your fights now.
On your favorite dial, Mainland 98.3 FM, the Situation Room. Issues, personalities, and perspectives. We are always watching.
Nothing for Nigeria, fi shock me again, no. Politics for Nigeria, no fi surprise me again.
Imagine a country where our children have good schools, where hospitals are well equipped, and where every community enjoys clean water and good roads. That future is possible, but only if we use our votes wisely.
Sadly, some people are ready to exchange their votes for money, food, or empty promises, and some politicians are ready to buy them. But ask yourself, after the money is spent, after the food is gone, what remains? 5, maybe 10 years of suffering under bad leadership.
Is your child's education worth just a small gift? Is your community's progress worth only a bag of rice or a few naira? No, it is worth much more.
When you keep your vote, when you cast it freely and wisely, you protect your dignity, your rights, and your future. Leaders who buy votes cannot serve the people faithfully, but leaders chosen by honest votes are accountable to you, the people.
Let us stand together. Let us reject vote buying and selling. Let us prove that our future cannot be bought. Your vote is your power, your right, and your responsibility. Use it wisely. This message is brought to you by Mainland 98.3 FM.
When they win your vote, just to win your vote, just to win your vote. Politicians will tell you what you want to hear. Just to win your vote.
What leadership? I have shown leadership. I have said, look, you cannot do this. If you do this, you pay for it.
Does it get better or worse? Are the actors ready or not? Are citizens onlookers or bastions of accountability? The questions pile up each day, 1,001. But hey, in the Situation Room, we are not carried away. We only ask the crucial questions and stick it in. Because the journey to El Dorado won't pardon missteps.
Based on the law, if you earn any income, you have to pay tax on it.
Join 괏ᴏᴟᴜ in the Situation Room Mondays to Thursdays from 4 to 5:30 p.m. for the real action.
In the Kano State, they cried it. What happened? Even in Edo State, they cried it. Not what happened. What I would say is, Mr. President is full of strategy.
You want to rubbish one of the governors? He does not believe that he must lose any battle. And you choose your fights now.
On your favorite dial, Mainland 98.3 FM, the Situation Room. Issues, personalities, and perspectives. We are always watching.
Nothing for Nigeria, fi shock me again, no. Politics for Nigeria, no fi surprise me again. Thank you very much for staying with us. You're live from Mainland 98.3 FM. Tᴜɪᴜᴜ joins me on the show today via the phone. And of course, it's always a pleasure to have him join us. Mr. Adeyemi, good to have you join us. The former governor of Bayelsa State, the senator representing Bayelsa West Senatorial District, Senator Henry Seraki Dixon, announced this afternoon that he has left the PDP and he has gone to join the newly registered political party, Nigerian Democratic Congress. What do you make of that? I mean, for someone that has been with the PDP for so many years, since 2007, I was a reps member on the platform of the party in 2007 to, I think, by 2012, he contested. He was governor of Bayelsa State till 2020. That's 8 years, 2 terms. Since 2020, he's been in the National Assembly. He was part of the 9th Assembly. He's part of the 10th Assembly now, representing Bayelsa West Senatorial District. But
yesterday he made a post that 24 hours from now he's going to be making a major announcement. But prior to that, he had posted pictures where leaders of the new political parties went to pay him a visit, and then he received the flags of the party, received merchandise of the party and all of that. So I think a lot of people had an idea of what could happen, but he made it official today. Nigeria Democratic Congress, one of the newly registered political parties, have their biggest candidate, or let me say their biggest member so far. What does that say about the move of the opposition party? Or let me say it this way: where does that put us with the conversation around where the People's Democratic Party is at the moment?
Well, thank you very much. I think this speaks a whole about the state of opposition in Nigeria and how efforts by most Nigerians to see us having a formidable opposition. Maybe if you are picking, ADC as now an opposition, if PDP has been totally corrupted, that the virus there cannot be cleaned, and the people are looking at ADC to be a viable opposition. But when you are joining, the whole senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria now picking, a new party that we are yet to know even any strong hand behind it. And what are we talking about? So what we are talking about is that this new party, well, we don't know tomorrow. They are stand, and there is likely going to be another special purpose vehicle. So people might say it's too early to target that way, because most of the known politicians we know in Nigeria have either identified with themselves with ADC or APC, or still stay in Labour, or some still stay in PDP. So when you are bringing, if another person joined and is NDC, where you say let's wait and see. But we are talking of a former governor from the state. I think that when people is talking, Raisa used to be one of the strongholds of the PDP, having produced a president. Jonathan became president of the country on a platform of the PDP, and from that Bayelsa State. And Dixon is also one of the beneficiaries of those things. And then now, we don't know much about NDC. He has brought the party to the limelight, but I hope it's not just for his own selfish ambition of just winning the election, maybe now find his way back to wherever he wanted to go. But we are yet to know much about NDC, and we have not seen anybody holding political office or any elected person talking about NDC. Well, the man has joined. Let's wait and see. Some people might say kudos. But democracy thrives. Look at most countries that we're having strong, democracy. Let's use Britain, UK, and America as an example. Since 1945, these two countries have been governed by two parties. We are not saying the country should. The country cannot legislate it. I think you have green parties, you have other parties, in Great Britain. But none of them have the capacity of winning an election, apart from the Democrats and Labour Party. So if you belong to another party apart from these two, maybe you are fighting for one agenda, right? So, not because firstly you wanted to govern. And it's the same thing in America, Democrats and Republican. There are many other parties, maybe to fight an ideology because of this, not necessarily because you wanted, to govern. But in Nigeria, we are talking of opposition parties that can govern the country and give APC a run for their money. So, but for him now leaving PDP, yes, I agree with him. He said PDP is seriously sick and is in ICU. And even at the ICU he is, the gas is almost exhausted, and nobody to put that money to buy the gas. So meaning that more from now, the patients, at least
they would have to remove the oxygen.
Anymore from now, when the oxygen is exhausted and nobody wanted to buy another one, what happens? So the patient is off. It's likely to be off anywhere from now. I agree with him. But some of the people like us or some analysts would have loved him to join ADC to strengthen that opposition. Not because we have anything peculiar with ADC or we are supporting it, I'm supporting it. No. But a level of democracy, we want a strong opposition. And then we are looking for opportunity that let's have a viable, strong opposition because of the role of opposition in democracy. So as we are now, this APC is talking for 31 governors. So what are we talking about? And the ABGA has told you that they will not
field the candidate against the president.
The candidate against the president. So what are we talking about? You know that in a situation that these are people sheepishly, right? Surrender their sovereignty, their everything to a particular party of this magnitude. I think is the next president, even if Tinubu wins, he will take it serious because he's getting to the platter of gold. I'm telling you seriously. I'm telling you. So, but if our politicians have chosen that route, who are we to complain? So we analysts will just continue to speak, right? And even at the expense of people branding you as an opposition, right? No, but the truth is that democracy thrives where you have a viable opposition. So there's no clapping for Dixon that the guy thought he could survive and then win, I think, in his constituency and return to the
Mr. Diami, let me hold your thoughts. Apologies, sorry for cutting. Let me hold your thoughts. I mean, you made mention of something very critical now. The last maybe few months, I've seen some level of, optimism from a lot of Nigerians with the coming on board of the ADC as the tool for the coalition. And so everyone assumes that, if you are decamping from whether PDP or Labour, if you are not going to the APC, you're probably going to the ADC. And we've seen quite a lot of, politicians, active, retired, tilting towards the ADC. And I remember when the governor of Bayelsa State left the PDP, Senator Dixon addressed the press and he says, in fairness, the governor reached out to him, spoke to him about his decision to move, to the APC. And he said, listen, I'm not following you to the APC. I believe so much in the foundations and the pillars of the PDP. That was a couple of months back when Governor Diri left the PDP. Now, what does this say about the seriousness of the opposition? If you look at the ADC, we have members of the SDP there, we have members of Labour Party or former members of Labour Party, PDP, APC there. Would you have expected someone as, influential as Senator Seraké Dixon to go to a party that he will probably have to nurture and finance and groom and spread? And the election is very close. Don't you think it's just, how disorganized the opposition parties are?
I think that there's no doubt about that. And I think maybe some of us as well, we are expecting too much from politicians that think and take decisions from their decisions that will suit their personal interests. They are not looking at the politics in totality. They are not looking at the interests of Nigeria. No. They are looking, calculation is what profits me or what will profit me. So in ADC, maybe I will still struggle for the ticket there, and the PDP, give me ticket of PDP. It does not work tissue paper. So I don't need it, right? But I know that in my, I think Bayelsa State, if I'm not mistaken, has about 8 local governments. If I'm not mistaken. So the highest, I think, senatorial district I have, not more than 3. That's the highest. 3 local governments. So I'm sure that I'm a master in this local government. I can control people. I can pull votes. I can get it done. Well, I don't want to be seen fighting on the platform of PDP simply because I don't know what Wike will bring tomorrow. Right? So you don't know. Do you understand what Wike will bring tomorrow? So let's run away from Wike. Right? So after running from Wike, you can still have ADC to stay with. I'm only thinking aloud. At least let's strengthen. If we say let's strengthen the opposition. Let those of us that will not believe in Tinubu, right? Let's now have a platform at which we can serve as an opposition to save democracy. But they are not thinking that way. So the man his own calculation is that way. About 3 local governments make my senatorial district, and for me, I think I'm good in this area. So I don't want to fight the Wike, right? And maybe I have to go and contest for the wicket. But let me go and pick
a place where they offer me on the platter.
On platter of gold. But he might win the election there. I'm not doubting him, right? Because I don't know those who contest against him now, right? But what I'm saying is that he's doing that for his own selfish interest, not for the interest of democracy and to ensure we have a viable opposition. I think to give APC serious battles, right? So what we wanted, we are looking for a situation where even that APC will run, at least for this 20, they will run, no? I think they will pant.
At least feel the impact of the opposition.
Feel the impact of the opposition, so that they will not take people for granted. That's the issue we are talking about. The issue now is that when you are giving such an absolute majority, when there seems to be a elitist conspiracy against the people of Nigeria, it's the people that will suffer it. The elites, I think they have enough to share on the table, right? But it's Nigerians that they will change. So, and the way things are going, the elite seems united on how to share the national cake. The elite is very united now, you understand, on how to get things done for themselves. But it's we, you and I, that have not made up my mind, or that somebody tomorrow will come and offer 2,000 naira at least to vote for this elitist interest and keep them perpetually in office and in power at the detriment of the population. Because all the signs, everything you can see, it's so obvious now that the blind man can see what is happening in Nigeria. So, and there's Nigerians, the electorate, I think that will suffer all this we are talking about. And unfortunately, again, our people are used to say it, okay, they are not ready to take over the politics and governance. If a day Nigerians say no to vote by, a day Nigerians are ready to vote according to their conscience, that's when a day Nigerians will not wait to collect statements from politicians to attend rallies to perform their civic responsibility. That's when we begin to see light, or we need to see true democracy, I think, being played or to be played in Nigeria. But when we continue with this give and take, see and buy, and we are a bit of master of tokenism. So they know that this is what you deserve. They will give you that bread for the day and suffer for the 4 years. and which have been major battles to development of democracy in Nigeria. Democracy is not growing, and it's quite unfortunate.
Okay, Mr. Adeyemi, before we leave the opposition, the off-cycle elections is expected to be, an avenue for political parties to check their popularity, weigh their acceptance amongst the people, and also, try to, take over power, win some seats, to form part of the government. But if you look at the performance of the opposition parties since the last general election, we've had 3 governorship elections in Imo, Kogi, and Bayelsa in November. The APC won 2 then, and the PDP won 1. Wow. The PDP won Bayelsa. At the end of the day, the governor had left the PDP and has also joined the APC. So it's safe to say the APC won the 3 governorship elections, on the 11th of November 2023. We had Edo and Ondo. Both of those parties went to the APC. In fact, the PDP, had a strong showing as the sitting party in Edo State, but they still lost to Senator Monday Okwebolo, that is now the governor of the state. So 5 of those states went to the All Progressive Congress. The Anambra State election, obviously, it's almost like a no contest for ABGA. And the ABGA had also swore loyalty that they will not present a candidate against the president. Now there's going to be off-cycle elections in Ekiti and Osun in 2026. Mr. Adeyemi, do you think the opposition parties are ready to change the status quo in those 2 states? The PDP governor in the state left and went to join the Accord party. The PDP had the primaries in the state, had the candidates, and of course the faction that produced that candidate has not been recognized by INEC because of litigations here and there. The Ekiti situation is the same thing as well. Then the APC has a governor that wants to return in Ekiti State. That's Governor Biodun Banji. And of course, the APC wants to also reclaim Osun State after they lost it in the last election in the state. With the way the opposition is going, do you think anything could be different in that election in terms of the opposition party, maybe the coalition, having a strong showing, just to indicate to Nigerians that they are not just here for jokes, they're here for serious business ahead of the election?
Also we're talking about these 2 by-elections. The Ekiti by-elections holding in June, if I'm not mistaken, and we had 12 political parties contesting that election. And Ekiti, I think Ekiti had 16 local governments, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and there 16 local governments, yes.
Yes, and there were 177 or 76 wards.
Yes.
That's Ekiti for you. While Osun has 30 local governments and about 360 something wards. So those we are trying to see the size. So to try to for this analysis. And if you look at Ekiti, all the structures in Ekiti, from the state assembly to rep to
the Senate, everywhere,
belongs to the Senate. It belongs to the APC. I think all the elected offices and whatever belongs to the APC in Ekiti State. And PDP is supposed to be the opposition, but it's no longer there. And we have ADC. We are looking at ADC to play that opposition. And the governorship candidate for ADC in Ekiti State is Ambassador Bejide, who used to be, I think, SSG or
Secretary to State Government under, I think, Sɪᴛᴜᴜ or so.
Sɪᴛᴜᴜ. I know the gentleman is from Lɪਧᴇ, the same town with the spokesperson of the Senate in the National Assembly. So I know the gentleman. So what I'm saying is that if you see this contest, where all the principalities of in the states, I think are already in one party, and where people like Ojimi that will have made opposition speak, and Fᴏَʟᴏᴜ that will have made the opposition speaking, even Sᴏᴜᴜ that people thought would pick ADC ticket, all of them have already pledged their loyalty.
They've aligned with the governor.
With the governor. So I think for the first time, I think there's a day we will look at the politics of Banji. If you do that now, maybe my thought maybe we're campaigning for him, which is dangerous anyway. There's no reason for us to campaign for him. But if somebody could play once a volatile state, that there was not a time that a governor, I think, was able to win the hearts of almost everybody that matters in that state. To the extent that people like Aᴅᴇɪᴇ could not fight him, people like Oᴘᴏʟɪᴡ saw him as their son, people like Fᴏʟʟᴏᴡ, Fᴏᴟ was one of the founding fathers of the state.
Even Fᴏᴟ literally sleeps in the government house now.
Fᴏᴟ is one that started the Banji's second term campaign.
A year into office. Former governor Fᴏᴟ had already endorsed him.
He had to tell former PDP governorship candidate in the state. This one from F1. I think I remember his name now. I think that way you have to step down your ambition, and we have to allow Banji to go for the second term at the first year anniversary of the man. So I'm saying that there seems to be a consensus among the political elites and some of the people in Ekiti of the direction they wanted to go. How the man was able to do that, well, I don't know. But we know that those he has to prostrate for, he prostrated for them. And when you see a governor prostrating for
something is on the table.
So after the ballet, so people that he knew that what they wanted is a recognition, he gave them. And the man will go to Yinkaluji's house to go and eat at times and lunch.
Go to Sēᴜnᴜ house.
At least Sēᴜnᴜ need to say, but I want to eat. So Sēᴜnᴜ and his wife will cook for him. So the man will eat it there. So and I was told that Sēᴜnᴜ, as empty as the man is, his wife told him, "You try this one, you're on your own. If somebody has taken you as a younger, as a senior brother, he will come here, we will eat. So he will play with all of us. Then as we will take advice from you, he will implement it. I want to go and contest him against him." That's why I told him that you are on your own, you will try it. Then as I'm saying, so to tell you that Ekiti might not give us a very strong, very strong opposition contest that might deserve a critical analysis. But you know what, we are saying this, but in 24 hours, anything can change in politics. So we can't run anything, we can't do anything else. 24 hours, anything can change, my brother. So don't just, we are saying this for the obvious of what we can see. But Osun will not be like that. Osun is going to be a different ball game entirely, in the sense that the sitting governor, Ademola Adeleke, is of PDP before, yes. He wanted to join APC. He was bullied out that we don't want you because we are going to take the state away from you. Don't you? And he did everything. I think it's in the history of the country. For the first time, we are recording that issue that the sitting governor wanted to join the party, and the powers that be as national said, "No, we don't want you." It's a sitting governor. So you can see how serious that election will be in that state. You cannot toy or take Adeleke's family and their influence for granted. You cannot. If you do that, it's at your own peril. You're right. But the man has gone to pick the ticket of a court party. Not only picking the ticket of a court party, he has been able to get most of his assembly members to follow him to the assembly member, to the Accord party. Well, is that enough for him to win? No, it's not enough. It's not enough. But the man picked Oyebanji also, picked by APC in Osun State, is relatively popular. Right, for him to have defeated Oyetola, good understand, because it's not wanted to go. Good understand, but for that man to defeat him and got that ticket, he knew that you cannot toy, I think, with him, right? So the man is also on the ground. He has a significant number of people at the National Assembly supporting him. But what's the politics going on there? Remember that any way we look at it, APC have been preparing ground to win this election. And I, as a person, will be happy that if for sure people can teach them the lesson. The lesson is that for no justifiable reasons than politics, for the federal government to have seized the revenue
of the local government in the state.
So the charge local government in the state for how many months now? It's not of politics, nothing more than that. It's to cripple the state, to make the man not performing, is to staff the governor and local government of funds. And they are really serving them of funds. They are serving them of funds simply just to cripple governance for you to win the state. So now you now go to the city and now campaign that the man was not performing. Go and look at the local government roads. Go and look at the primary care center controlled by local government. Go and look at primary school controlled by local government. Go and look at this. Go and look at that. Then asking them, do they want to continue that way? You understand? People will say no to that. What I'm telling you is that it's a crude and bad politics. It's a crude and bad politics. If you know that you are fielding a candidate that you know is strong enough, provide a level playing field as the federal government, as the ruling party, for allow people to choose. The man wanted to come to you, said no. Now, leave him. Let the people decide. Don't cripple a government in order to pave way, I think, for your own candidate. No, it's wrong. It's wrong. And any lover of democracy should stand up to condemn it. So what the point I'm making here is that we are not seeing, by now, if we've not been seeing a level playing field in Osun, what will happen during the election? Can we now trust on INEC to deliver a free, transparent, and credible election? I think with what we have seen on the ground, or can we trust the police at least to ensure the election is not manipulated? Can we trust the security agencies to ensure and make sure they arrest both sellers and buyers, right? And to make it difficult for them to ply their trade on that day? Can we entrust all those things to them? So what I'm saying is that there's going to be a serious contest in Osun State against what we are talking. Though I should see Osun election is coming in August, right? So against what we might expect in Ekiti State in June. But by and large, let's see how people of Osun will react, I think, to shenanigans going on and to the unfair treatment of the people. So if they will cave in, I think I'm ready to fight and stand up to fight. So for Adeleke, it's not a dancing time. I want to agree. So it's not the period. Yeah, it's not the period for him to dance. The period for him to
get to work.
To get to work and speak to people every time to let them know his challenges. Do you understand? His challenges. And let him telling them how much the federal government has been able to seize up to now and what that would have done for them in providing social infrastructure and why they are holding that money. If they are just with it. It happened in Lagos State. Do you understand? Not only happened, so we knew what happened. So we knew what happened. When Obanikoroson won election on the island, we all in Lagos State here, and we saw the man was never sworn in until they camped to APC. So, but there's something that happened in Osun State that has never happened in Lagos State or in APC control state, justifying withholding the state local government money for months now. So what I'm saying is that the election there is going to be a serious contest, and we cannot trust people, and we cannot, because you see them begin to trust people. Is the president who will be collecting rice, collecting gari, collecting 괘ᴏʟɪᴡ, because I know people in that area like amala as well. So, and we're voting for what is not. So we can't trust people, but let's wait and see how some people are thinking will determine their next 4 years.
All right. Before we move to the next conversation, Mr. Adeemi, who should involve the politicization or, the drama around the e-registrations for political parties? INEC earlier today released the final list for the cleared candidates ahead of the 2026 governorship election in Osun State. That's the INEC had released the final list of candidates for the upcoming Osun State governorship election scheduled for 8th of August 2026. And of course, PDP and Labour parties candidates have been omitted from the final list. I think that is the news in that conversation. According to the statement issued by Musa Olurode, INEC's PRO in Osun State, the parties cleared include Accord Party, Action Alliance, that's AA, African Action Congress, AAC, African Democratic Congress, ADC, Action Democratic Party, ADP, African Progressive Grant Alliance, APGA, All Progressive Congress, APC, Allied Progressive Movement, APM, Action People's Party, APP, Booth Party, BP, New Nigerian People's Party, NNPP, PRP, that's the People's Redemption Party, Young Progressive Party, and Zenith Labour Party. So, those are the only parties that will be fielding candidates ahead of the election. Just 14 of them will be fielding candidates ahead of the 2026 election in the state. So, there's no Labour Party and there's no People's Democratic Party for the governorship election in Osun State. So, that is it. I would also keep our fingers crossed and wait for what the INEC would also do in the case of PDP in Ekiti State. We've been monitoring the situation from there, and it's almost the same thing. The same situation that happened to PDP in Osun State, whereby INEC did not recognize any faction that conducted the primaries in the state. The same faction also issued certificate of returns to the candidate of the APC in Ekiti, the PDP in Ekiti State. So, but of course, don't let us preempt INEC. We don't know what could happen between now and then. Mr. Adeemi, let's look at the e-registration drama. A lot of people, maybe Nigerians, got a bit distracted with the issue of the mode of transmission of results during the drama surrounding the amended Electoral Act. You know, people were talking about, it should be electronically transmitted, this and that, provide internet. But on the flip of that, there were a lot of, items that were included in the act or amended in this case. A lot of them, notably, is the mode of primaries that have been removed from indirect now to, before it used to be indirect or direct or consensus. Now there's no longer indirect. It is now direct, which is very, very expensive and involves every card carrying member of that political party or consensus. We saw the primaries of the state congresses of the APC just a few days ago, and we saw how it played out. The other part is the fact that falsification of result has been removed as a ground upon which you can challenge the outcome of an election. That was also somehow we didn't even see it. Then the major one is the fact that political parties must maintain a digitalized party register. That means every member must be captured digitally, including your NIN, your pictures, your ward, your location, your polling unit, and everything. Then you still have to go to your ward to ratify your registration. The whole drama surrounding it, Mr. Adeemi, what does this say about what to expect in the next couple of weeks, especially as the adjusted timetable means that there's no time for political parties anymore? maybe except the All Progressive Congress that has started its own registration and mobilization long time ago, and they kept extending the registration. I watched the national chairman of the APC, Professor Tᴜɪ̀nᴜ saying that they've captured about 9 million members for their party. What do you make of this whole e-registration and then the amended Electoral Act and some part of it that Nigerians didn't exactly pay attention to?
You know, I think you capture this very well. That when we are having the whole Electoral Act, I think in serious parties, their legal units, even the political unit, whatever, will look at the whole everything in totality, to include the foodstuffs, where they use share and where the experience they use most, and they use may, and they carry out because of the implication. But everybody, all of them, were talking of real-time transmission of results, and that is not allowed for manual at all. I think which in the last conversation I said that if the elections were conducted manually, I was there physically, they counted the things physically, they recorded it, manually. So was taking the picture of the manual recorded paper, it will become an issue. And we blew it beyond its significance. Sorry to say that. That other areas that will affect them, they did bother to look at it. So after it's when the noise simmer down, they begin to see. But again, what does membership of political party has to do with winning the election? You get a point. But now it has become a competition where they are now getting all these. That's why you see this registration going on. By the time people do forensic analysis of it, and I'm sure that some party will not run into problem with this. What do I mean? I've tried to open, I think, the portal of 2 or 3 parties, and they requested for your voter's card number, which you have to input there. They ask for your NIN, which you have to put there. Right. This is to assure that you don't have ghost members and fake registration. But as going now, these things are now being manipulated to register. That's why I'm saying that there are a lot of and the ruling party may not have any reason to do this, because as I said, they have been doing this since, and they are mobilizing people to do it. And the ones who have done it for them, even if they have given some people now tips to do it for you, it will not go. Because once a name and the ones voters card are registered for one, I'm not sure will go for another. So we got information, not confirmed, that some of these parties have now engaged services of some IT experts that are circumventing all this. So because you want to have a large number of people, and with all what we have seen in Nigeria, the people that voted for APC the last presidential election, I think they had about 15 million plus. And they told us that in their register, they had close to 40 million people on their register.
No, the president won the election with a little over 8 million votes, not even up to 9 million.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. With 8 million votes. And they Google what they said they have as members, the people that register for that time. So you'll be surprised that less than half or 30% of the so-called registered members of APC
actually voted in the election.
So if that happens now, the case, why are you trying to falsify records to make sure you have a large number of party members? Not many people wanted to be identified with political parties, want to go to be attending their meetings or be partisan politics. Not many people wanted to be partisan politics. Not many people wanted to play it. But majority anywhere in the world are interested in who governs us. They are not looking at only the party, they look at the character of the candidates. They look at the candidates. Those are part of things people consider to vote. I don't want to be a candidate of any political party. But when election comes and I see a candidate I think I believe in, I want to go to the polling booth and vote, which is normal. But what we see now is that there is now a competition. They are trying to outsmart one another. And I can assure you that the first case people will have now is now see by the time the registration deadline closes, other parties now looking, seeking INEC to collect, I think, the access to verify most of the parties they registered. And they will start the work, and before the election, you see how that will generate another question. That by the time they're not bringing out the name of registered political party members that are not, that card carrying, that do not have genuine NIN or voters card, that fake voters card are registered. What will be the implication? We can say these are pre-election matters. You understand? But when the political party falsify those figures, you understand? Is it credible enough now to be asking for credible and fair election? Now, even just see your members, you falsify figures, and how will politicians now take it to high heaven? We don't know. You cannot sit down now and begin to determine what they will do with that. But unknown to most political parties now, they are falsifying records now. And the allegation is an allegation. I'm not saying because we are yet to have any still going on, but people are saying, and those people are credible enough to believe that they are falsifying all these data they are inputting. But what will happen? It's quite unfortunate. So the point I'm making is that you don't have to have 100 million members when every day you will not get
10 million votes.
So it's better they concentrate more on voters, education, mobilization, and convince people why they should vote for them than at least dissipating energies on falsifying records. So it's quite unfortunate, but let's keep it in our left hand and see what will come out of it before election, and how pre-election matter will affect the credibility of the election itself. Let's wait and see.
Okay.
But it's good if we are not talking of direct primaries. Right. So that is the era of some delegates to go and collect money on behalf of people. If that era is gone, good. But in the social science and politics, for that matter, as to solve one problem,
another one is coming up.
Create another one. So if you are not popular, and if you don't have enough watchers, you may not win election. So for instance, now let's say it happens in a state like Osun, that one has gone. Based on analysis that we have about 330 something watts. So that means election will hold at 330 something watts. Right. Can any one aspirant be able to have agents
in the entire world,
or agents in the entire 3 and something watts? Will he be able to mobilize for the election in 3 and something watts? Or will he be able? But you can see that I think you need, I think, enough. You must be a deep pocket at least to contest election in Nigeria. So if there's anything, at least they are telling us. So they are making it clearer and louder to us.
I had a guest on Monday, Mr. Adeyemi. The ADC House of Assembly for the Ikorodu constituency won for House of Assembly, and one of the major issues he raised in respect to these direct primaries is how expensive direct primary is, in terms of it's almost being like a standard election. I mean, in terms of if you have to play by the rules, Mr. Adeyemi, it means that every card carrying member of the party would have to be involved. But what does this say? Maybe I should rephrase my thoughts. Is this a win for our democracy in terms of involvement of more people? You know, when they say elections are not won on social media, Mr. Adeyemi, it means that you have to get involved. Yes, you can decide not to be a member of a political party and vote for a candidate. It's understandable. But a lot of us had also questioned the way some of these candidates emerge from the primaries. When the delegates issue was being raised, I've always been a strong advocate of indirect primaries. When you lock a selected few in a room or in an hotel, and then you doctor the list, and then you give them the name, former governors, former senators, former political appointees, and still being delegates, and then less than 2,000 people thereabouts would choose who the larger population would vote for. We saw what happened during the convention of the APC in Abuja, where the president had I think less than 2,000 delegates, and then the then Minister of Transport came second, then the Vice President came third. Now, the more, if you really want your candidate to be the flag bearer of the party, you would have to go and vote for him directly. Is this a win for democracy, Mr. Adeyemi? Because now it means that, hey, listen, there's nothing like I'm influential in the party. I can corner some people and use money to bribe them. How many people do you want to bribe? Across the over 177,000 polling units that we have in Nigeria, how many people do you want to bribe? Across the 36 states and the FCT, how many people do you want to bribe? Across the 109 senatorial district, 306,000 of rep seats, how many people do you want to bribe? So is this a win for our democracy? And do you think this would encourage involvement in politics itself, away from just social media rantings?
I think it's got to be a win for democracy. And they are not saying they are giving opportunity to party members to be involved. If you choose not, everyone will not fall. Those who participated will have
still benefits.
But the question here is that, are they going to participate without inducement? Are Nigerians themselves ready to participate? I think just because they want to perform their civic responsibilities, or it's going to be, I think, anything goes to the, I think, to the highest bidder. If people have sufficient resources to implement see and buy during general election, what is considered that to the party
primaries?
To primaries. Do you know my point? What we are saying here is that de facto, let's say the jury, right, in law, is a good decision. But in fact, we're talking reality now, we call de facto. It will give room for more money backs. it will give room for more godfathers parties flag bearer. If your influence does not go beyond the local government or 10 local government, you're thinking that you go and save money for delegates. You now know that you're now facing thousands and thousands of party members across all the wards in your state. So if you are not family grant, how can you win such primary? No, I think the party members will consider loyalty, faithfulness, and who is in tune with our manifesto.
It's a different ball game.
The ball game that we know ourselves. This is our leader of our party. He will do well. And we're going to vote for him. Yes. Let different opinions, let them hold it. Those who believe in Oᴏ, vote for Oᴏ. Those who believe in Fᴏʟᴏᴡ, let vote for him. Right? Those who believe in Mr. Oᴘᴇýᴇ, let them vote for him. And we observers will be looking at where it goes. But it will not go that way. Money will be involved, investment will be involved. And that's why you can easily see people of shady characters. That's why you can easily see people of questionable source of wealth can easily dish out money and win parties tickets. So it's unfortunate that as we try to solve one problem in Nigeria, we create another one. And that some people like us begin to imagine that it's time for our political scientists to go and look at democracy, how it can work in Nigeria and Africa. Listen, America has delegates that you can win the popular votes and not win the
electoral college.
Electoral college.
That was what happened in 2016. Hillary Clinton won the popular votes, but Donald Trump won with the electoral college.
Electoral college. Do you understand? We must get something. I'm not saying this go and copy America or what's happening in Philippines or in India. No. Let's look the rate of poverty in Nigeria, the rate of tribal sentiment our people play. I think and they devise a level of illiteracy and devise a system that will give us the best of democracy. Because I'm sure when Plato and co were talking of democracy, Aristotle, the fathers of democracy, they never imagined human beings could be this callous and not that sensitive to what we are experiencing in Nigeria. That somebody will give you 10,000 to buy your vote and they keep billions in 4 years. They never imagined it. They never imagined it. So I think they saw human beings as somebody that can think, somebody that become independent. That's why they put at 18. But we want to imagine in Nigeria is a 18-year-old child. Is there that in the real sense of it? The way they have been exposed to, no, but I don't want to go to that one. So we must look at something that works for us. In the environment we are, we can import what's happening in America, where you have different culture, different system, climate, environment, and import it to Nigeria. No, that's the problem we are facing. So I think our scholars need to do more. They should not just be fighting for increment in salaries and allowances. I think it's all the political scientists and social scientists. If I'm the president of this country, I will lock them and I will give them, I will give a machine order that I want to see some templates from you, how the democracy can work in Nigeria. So the professors of political science is not just going to go and teach Pol 101.
Come and practicalize it.
No. No. So no. That's what makes university is not only for teaching, it's for research, and research exalts university and community service. So Nigeria, we are in need of a working democracy. We need working democracy. So our political scientists, our people in the social sciences and social science generally, I think should take it as a challenge, because you see the way the caricature, the way we play it in Nigeria, the caricature of the democracy in Nigeria is not certain. How will you imagine that for you to vote for you will take 20,000, 5,000 and give him 4 years mandate? That somebody will, by the side of the road, will buy you a bottle of beer, and with that one, he gets 4 years. And business, governance is a serious business. It determines our today and tomorrow and our future. So, I think, as we are solving one problem, and since we are creating a bigger one, you get to see litigation after most of these primaries. No, and which is that litigation, if not after 2 or 7 elections, let's wait and see. Let's wait and see. The way they are going to use money based on influence on the primaries, you will see. You will see. So let's wait and see.
I'm sure our friends, our lawyer friends, will be dusting their wigs and dry cleaning their gowns now. their time of enjoyment and flexing is very close. All right.
You know what? The problem with the politicians at times, is smart politicians know that before election, you're supposed to engage lawyers and the election consultants. Do you know what I'm saying? So, but everything they're supposed to do, they will not do. Is after the election. So when they get the court, people to get evidence to prove their case,
will be a problem.
Becomes difficult. So we'll be picking information from the social media. And the people posting it, by the time you need them to come and prove their case,
they will not come out.
You know what? I sat in a strategy of a politician, and we had the impression that politician won the election of the state. And then when all these people from the local community are coming to give information of what we wanted to hear,
you felt you had a good case.
We thought we had a good case. So the hired son, about 2 sons, to come and defend. And when we are asking these politicians to present evidence they promised, that's when the man will go to the farm, will never return. That's when the man will tell you himself is
will go to the market
for the past 5 days. That's when you get to hear stories. But you guys promise all this evidence, and the lawyers will just be in court, just fighting and on technicality. You understand? Which is not enough to win a case. So smart politicians that want to contest it by now will have engaged, I think, election consultants, lawyers to start working for them.
Okay, the Osun APC have released the name of the running mate to the candidate. Asiwaju Bolaji Oyeba is from Ife Federal Constituency. Yes, he's from Ife, former House of Representatives member. He's from Ife, so he's going to be the running mate to Mr. Bolaji Oyebanji. That's the governorship candidate of the APC in Osun State. There was a placeholder initially just to meet up with the deadline of the submission of candidates, but now it's official. They've actually picked up pretty young man, just to get up on the mix. So I just decided to.
Politics is maybe I think without the tension of Omisore.
Yes.
So, but let's see how people will react to that.
Mr. Adeyemi, thank you very much. I will have to let you go. But quickly, maybe in a minute or two, the conversation around the state police, do you think anything would change with the coming up on board of a new Inspector General of Police? It looks like a committee had been set up, and it looks like we may be making some reasonable level of progress, especially on the back of the new commitment that the president made when he was having the interfaith dinner with a member of the National Assembly last week. He said that he's appealing to the Senate to fast track the legislative process of establishing the state police. Is this a way forward, and how quick could this come to reality? Let's do this real quick.
Yeah, I think quickly. I think we told our listeners, I think when we were talking about part of the real reasons, I think the former IG was removed, that he was accused of delaying all the cardinal issues and the moving fast on it. But that is not enough. Also, let me note it down. If the federal allocation is not adjusted to assist states in carrying overheads of this state police, is going to be a failure. You are adding responsibility now for the states. You want to add more. You can't treat the state police as you are treating Amotekun. And you cannot say all the states have financial wherewithal as it is now to carry the burden of the state police. And there's no way the federal government will continue to have more than 50% of the resources accruing to the nation and leaving states with patry 20 or something perfect. And we expect them to continue with this. So people are adjusting they want to do the constitutional review to make it happen, to also tell them fact. That is to adjust the distribution of the federal allocation for it to survive. Amotekun could not perform in most states because they are poorly funded. You cannot compare Amotekun, what has Amotekun achieved in the Ekiti State, where they are arresting and kidnapping their traditional rulers. What has Amotekun been able to achieve in Ondo State, where business of kidnapping is blossoming by the day? What has Amotekun been able to achieve in Oyo State? Even worse in the Google State, where you hardly see their vehicles or see Amotekun anywhere in that state. So, the Constitution must be able to spell out, not only because people are now being concerned majorly with politicians not using them to fight their political opponents. Yes, it should be a sort of worry, but that is not the only worry. The worry essentially must be how to make it work, and can the resources of the state as it is now enough to power state police? No. No. To keep them and to make them function. Unless if you give gun to a non-criminal that you are not paying salaries, you know the implication.
There could be an invitation for anarchy. Mr. Mui, will have to let you go. I'm sure we'll extend this conversation till next week. There's been a lot of reaction and response to that, but I have to let you go. We're ready for the global news. Thank you so much, Mr. Adeyemi.
Thank you.
For always finding time to be with us every Wednesday at the immediate past chief political editor of Guardian newspaper. Next up is Mainland FM Global News at 5:30. And by 6 o'clock, I would also come out to take you through the world of sports. Big deals yesterday. Draws for Manchester City away at home yesterday, and a massive 1 p.m. So, let's get it on. Thank you very much for being a part of the conversation. For Chelsea fans, Villa Park used to be one of the deadliest places to go to, but they got the job done yesterday. All of this and more by 6.